Now on to our up for debate segment, talking trade deadlines, baby. Which acquisition did we want? Alexis, break it down for our listeners.
Yeah, which one from the trade deadline is your favorite? And I'm going with not including Tyson Jones because we already talked about him last week. So between Delorier, Middleton, and Fleury, which one is your favorite? Could be because you like the player, could be because you think they fill the best gap. Jesse, which one were you most excited? And now that we've seen all three of them, which one is your favorite?
Honest to God, it's hard. Like, the easy answer is Flower, right? Like,
Sure.
I, especially with my angst at the goaltending position, I kind of like Delorier, though. I think he's kind of my guy. I think, you saw it in the game against Columbus. You're seeing it in the game since him and Middleton have been added. That physical presence has just been so upped, and every game that they have been playing and every game from here on out is going to have that physical dominance. And I think Delorier, and he can move too. He's quick. He moves for a big guy.
He does.
He moves well. And I think he's found a little bit of chemistry with Tyson and Brandon Duhaime on that fourth line. So I'm going to go D-Lo. Because just to mix it up, I think they were all solid moves, but that's what I'm going to stick with.
I'm going to go with D'Lo too. I would say Fleury is a close set. I like all three of them. I mean, it's so hard because they all bring something different. They're all three different positions. Like, it's hard to say. I thought Middleton had a great game against the Blue Jackets. I thought he stood out more in that game than he did against the Canucks, which not to say he played poorly against the Canucks, but I think he did what Bill Guerin brought him in to do against the Blue Jackets. But I got to go with D'Lo too, just because that is the kind of hockey player I love. Like, everybody knows that is like, that's the kind of guy I want to root for. So I got to go with him. And just because, I mean, he made an immediate impact, comes in, scores a goal. He's pushing people around. He's standing up for guys. Like, that's the kind of player that I want. And that's the kind of player that I think the Wild were missing a little bit of that. I mean, and it's funny because on the broadcast for the Blue Jackets game, they were talking a lot about how the Wild are kind of bullies sometimes, and they'll push you around and they'll do this and that. And I think at certain points in the season, Wild fans and media would maybe argue that wasn't the case, that they didn't have a lot of that. And I don't know if it's just that's how quickly of an impact Delorier and Middleton made, that they're just like, oh, this team's kind of a bully. But I do think that adding Delorier, just that one piece, did make them that much more of that kind of team who will get in your face. And so I really like it. And I think doing the interviews with D'Lo and hearing like what he's had to say, just like him saying like, I don't have a skill set, and then goes out and scores a goal, and like, I'm here to protect Marcus Foligno and he needs the points, I'll sit in the box. Like, it seems like all three of the guys who've joined the Minnesota Wild have just blended in so seamlessly with the team, and it's tough to get traded mid-season. Like, even Marc Andre Fleury was saying that last night, like, I've never been traded mid-season before. I didn't know what to expect. Like, it can be a tougher transition than being traded in the off season when you have more time to get used to your new team. And so the fact that all three of these guys just jumped in, have made an impact in the way that they were expected to, is big. But I got to go with Delorier. I'm a huge fan already. If I didn't already have a Marcus Foligno fan club, I'd probably be starting a Nick Delorier one. So that's where we're at. So well done to Bill Guerin one more time for what he did at the trade deadline, and hoping that these pieces that he's added help the Wild to a long run in the playoffs. So
I will put one bean in Middleton's pot. I think even on his debut, you didn't really notice him. And for me, that's always been a big thing for defensemen. Like, I don't want, because usually when you notice them, it's not for the right things,
say that
right?
all the time
Like,
too.
it's totally how it goes. I said that about Kalen Addison when he made his debut. So I think that's really good. And I like having him there with Spurge. It just gives more size than the Goligoski Spurge D pair did. So that's my one, being in the cap. Like, that's also a good pickup. And he's just they're all really great people. Like, Marc Andre Fleury, it just smiles galore, and Middleton, hey, nice to meet you. So excited to meet us, and DeLorean the same way. So
but that's a testament.
I called him DeLorean, guys.
DeLorean, Back to the Future,
trademark it.
Great movie. I think that's a testament to this Minnesota Wild team as well, though. Just see how excited these guys are to come join this team, whether it's because you feel welcomed by the other players or because you think this team is a Stanley Cup contender, like Marc Andre Fleury literally said against the Blue Jackets. So I think that's a huge thing that Wild fans should be proud of, that, hey, these guys want to come play for this team, because there is plenty of trades. Trust me, that happened in the NHL where I think Eric Stahl was in tears when he got traded to Buffalo. I mean, there's certain moves that are made where it's like, that guy doesn't want to go play with that team for whatever reason. The fact that guys want to come to this team, and that Marc Andre Fleury, before he even got traded, was picturing playing for the Minnesota Wild, that is a huge, huge compliment for Bill Guerin, Dean Evason, and the rest of the Wild crew. So it gives you the warm fuzzies inside to know that guys want to come play for your team.